We open up our report this week with this tweet from George Washington's athletic director after last week's win over Dayton. Thanks to our GW Colonial Army proving once again best home court in the country. Now 25-1, last 26. Hashtag Raise High. Welcome to Inside the Atlantic 10. I'm Ray Crawford. You know, the league race is about as close as it can get right now, with just one game separating the top 6 teams in the standings heading into the weekend, including George Washington. Happy to have with us the voice of the Colonials, Byron Kerr, with us. And Byron, a big one for GW Saturday when they face VCU. Are they equipped to handle a Rams team without Briante Weber and quite possibly Travion Graham as well?
Well, Ray, they certainly hope they are. They lost to him a couple of weeks ago by 24 points, 72-48, and it was all havoc from VCU. But last year, GW did a nice job against VCU at home at the Smith Center. First time they'd ever beaten the Rams, 76-66. Keith and Savage and Joe McDonald in the backcourt were fast enough to counter Briante Weber, who obviously is not in this game. But that'll be a key to see if they can match VCU's speed.
Yeah, it was Lewis and Larrier in the early matchup in January. They really tore things up off the bench for them as well. So what needs to improve in the half court offensively here for GW?
Well, something that's bothered them recently, Ray, is shooting from the outside against Duquesne. They really struggled on Wednesday against Arizona. They likely won't see that against VCU. They'll see a lot of the full court press. So they need to get their transition game going. They need to get that going to help their half court offense relax. And they have to be more aggressive in the half court. Less pump fakes, more driving to the hoop.
All right, so as you well know, this team has lost 3 of their last 4 games, and after the most recent loss to Duquesne, Coach Mike Lonergan, he had this to say, quote, "They're sitting in a 2-3 zone, and we're 2 for our first 20 shots. I just think our mental toughness is really lacking right now for whatever reason." So, Byron, what do you make of Coach's comments?
Yeah, he just wants a leader to step up. He asked Joe McDonald to do that, one of the core 4 juniors from last week. He did it. As you talked about that Dayton game, he hit the last-second jumper. He was huge, so they're hoping that will happen in this game. They need a leader to take that mental part of the game and make it important. Patricio Guarino struggled early in that game against Duquesne. He needs to forget about missing those early shots and continue to shoot. That's a problem the team has had when their offense has faltered this year.
And certainly this game against VCU will have their attention for sure. Let's get your quick thoughts on some of the other games happening in the league this weekend. What do you expect when Dayton faces St. Bonaventure?
Should be a great one. Dayton only has those 7 players. Pollard and Seibert were certainly very tough against GW, but the Bonnies just came off a win a couple of games ago against VCU, and Posley's really done a nice job with those last-second shots, but I like Dayton at home in that one.
All right, how about St. Louis and Rhode Island?
Well, St. Louis, of course, without Austin McBroom, really struggled against Dayton. It seems like he's been in the doghouse. He has to be playing and has to be contributing for the Billikens to be successful, because it's going to be a very, very difficult game for them if they can't go. Rhode Island's just been one of the better teams in the conference all season.
All right, what will you look for when UMass takes on Duquesne?
Speaking of hot, UMass has been incredibly hot. Caddy Lalane, Maxie Esho doing a really nice job. And Duquesne, of course, we just saw them. Derek Coulter and Micah Mason, the 2 talented guards. But I expect UMass's front court to be way too much for the Dukes, and UMass continuing to play some great basketball. They seem to be doing everything right at the right time.
Yeah, picking a good time to get hot right now with 5 straight wins. All right, Byron, great stuff as always. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Ray.
There are 3 other games this weekend, including Richmond at George Mason, Davidson at LaSalle, and St. Joe's travels to Fordham. I'm Ray Crawford. Join us again next week as we go inside the Atlantic 10.